Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Kampung Kid Live. Kampung Kid Live, where we talk about coconuts, the universe, and everything else in between. So for those of you who've not met me before, I'm Douglas Kampung Kid. And in the next 60 minutes, I am going to do my best to take on some questions, some comments, address some topics, and really the thing I say is really drawing from my experience. It's not prescriptive. It is not meant as advice. Okay, it is a perspective of whatever I see for that topic or question. So let's take a look before we get into the topics for the evening. Who is online? Good evening, Fan Kan, Teng In, Hi, Kaylee, Ha Pham, Ace, Chung Lu, Honey, good evening, Kim Feng, Phoebe, Tae Hun, Rosie, Nguyen. I hope I got that right. Good evening, everyone. Okay, so it's Thursday again, and let's see what the first topic is. The first topic is for the evening: how to bust bias at work. Okay, it depends, right? It depends. Okay, I always say it depends. It depends on why you want to bust bias. Okay, so break it down. What is bias? Okay, bias is a preference towards something. Okay, usually very personal, usually very subjective. It's a personal choice when I am biased towards one thing over another. Okay, so and we all have bias. Okay, we all have biases. Okay, and biases. Disclaimer. Okay, again, biases. There's no good or bad. There's no right or wrong. It's just a bias. Okay, so we all have a personal preference to things. Okay, so no good or bad, no right or wrong. It is just a personal preference. Okay, and this personal preference, okay, is it are we born with it, or is it something that we acquire? So the safe answer is both. But okay, the truth to me is science. Okay, there really isn't a way to determine how a bias is created. Okay, so it could be programming, it could be the environment, it could be purely an intrinsic intuitive thing. Okay, some people say that it comes from past lives. whatever it is, it is purely a personal preference towards one thing over another. Okay, so we're all biased. Okay, we are all biased because we have an experience. We're all biased because we have that personal preference. Okay, so when you want to bust a bias at work, okay, let's take away the at work. When you want to, regardless of whether at work or not, if you want to bust a bias, I am assuming, okay, or what I'm understanding is that bias is against me. Okay, if I want to bust a bias, that means that bias is against me. In extreme situations, this bias turns into discrimination, right? Okay, so I'm just extrapolating and thinking through what the intention of the question. So there may be situations where the bias turns into a form of discrimination. So there's a range. Okay, so there's a range of bias. Okay, mild bias. Okay, which is probably harmless. Okay, I prefer red over blue, green over yellow, whatever. So I have a bias. Okay, but doesn't make it right or wrong, right? Okay, I have a sexual bias. Okay, male versus female. Okay, or anything else in between. Or I have racial bias. Okay, or I have whatever it is. Okay, So there is a range. There are different biases. There are harmless biases, and there are harmful biases. Okay, what's harmful biases? When that bias that I have is to, it creates hurt or harm. Okay, it creates hurt or harm to someone else. Okay, and the thing is, if I have the bias, I may or may not be aware of it. I just have a preference, right? I just have a preference that I prefer to work with a male person versus a female person, or female person versus a male person. Okay, or everything else in between. I prefer to have to work with a certain people from a certain ethnic group. Okay, I prefer. Okay, and sometimes these biases are grounded. Okay, these biases are grounded in comfort zone. So I'm comfortable, right? I'm comfortable because it's known. Okay, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable working with women because, okay, I'm familiar and I understand them. I'm comfortable working with men because I'm familiar, I understand them, or everything else, anything else in between. Or I might not have a bias with gender. Okay, it doesn't matter because I'm able to work with everyone. Okay, I work with a certain ethnic group because culturally I identify with them, and versus another ethnic group which I may totally be unfamiliar. Okay, and then there's a learning curve, and then that I need to learn. So biases come from a lot of places. Okay, but it is ultimately a preference. Okay, a preference. And then if you're on the receiving end of the bias, that works against you. Okay, that works against you. It is likely, okay, so we cannot control. Okay, we cannot control the person who has the bias. You cannot change. Okay, you cannot tell the person, okay, to be biased differently because that's how the person is. Okay. And if the person has a preference towards something that is not where you fit, okay, then that person is just has that preference towards that thing where you don't fit. Okay. So if we look at work now, okay, so we've got a job. Okay, we've got a job that we need to do, and sometimes these biases that people have, it may be our bosses, it may be people at the same level, it could be people who work, okay, whom you supervise. Okay, and if there is a bias in place, okay, chances are it gets in the way. Okay, I am assuming. Okay, it gets in the way of the things that need to be done because there is energy that need to be addressed. We can't help that. Okay, so we can't help that. Okay, if we just simply operate from a purely personal preference, okay, in whatever it is, okay, that someone is comfortable with or likes, or is comfortable with, likes and familiar, then you can't help it. Okay, you cannot change the other person. Then what do you do? So I'm going to take this conversation at a different level. If we are creating value, okay, if we are creating value, then we should be about that value. Okay, regardless, if I'm creating value, then I should be about that value, regardless of whatever ethnic group I come from, regardless of whatever gender I belong to, regardless of whatever culture, whatever it is that defines me, okay, that puts me into a box. Okay, that may not be the preference of the other person. Okay, so if I take all that away and I just focus on the value that I can create, okay, then people need to value me for the value that I create. Okay, regardless of whatever box I may be put into. So the thing is this. Okay, in some other conversations that I have with people about getting, okay, so now we're talking about work, about getting into jobs. why do we get into a job? Okay, to get paid, right? to earn a living. Okay, to earn a living, and fundamentally that's what it is. Okay, then the thing is, what work do we do? Okay, do we enjoy the work or do we not? Okay, so then that's another thing. But regardless of whether we enjoy the work or not, if we want to play this work game, this job game, okay, this career game, then we need, for me, okay, it's always getting into a relationship, getting into a situation, okay, with choice, from a position of choice, from a position of power. Okay, I should get into a job, okay, if I am, okay, so work, right? So I should get into a job, okay, with a choice to be able to leave anytime. Okay, I should get into a job, okay, with an exit strategy already in mind, okay, and not be stuck at a job. I am only stuck in a situation, okay, I'm only stuck in a situation, go away from work for a little while, I'm only stuck in a situation, relationship, group of people, whatever it is, I'm only stuck if I have no choice and I operate from fear. Okay, if I operate from fear means that I am afraid to lose the relationship. Okay, then I will do whatever. Okay, then I operate from what if I lose this relationship, then I have nothing. Okay, so then what can you do? Okay, operate from, okay, the value that I can create in this relationship that makes the other person need me. Okay, so I talk about, I think in some other live streams, okay, attract, don't pursue. Okay, attract, don't pursue. Okay, if I go into a job because of the value I create, and that value that I create is so unique, so special, so irreplaceable, okay, it makes me indispensable. Okay, then in under normal circumstances, if I am able to create that kind of value that overcomes, okay, whatever bias or preference, okay, that other people have, then the question, the conversation about bias will not exist. Okay, but I need to do that. Okay, I cannot change them, right? I cannot change other people. Okay, but I can control the value that I create. Okay, so the thing is this. I can go into a job, okay, because I want to get paid. Okay, but the thing a lot of people forget is it is a two-way relationship. Okay, when I get into a job, when I do work, when I get into a job, it's a two-way relationship. As much as they are paying me, okay, what are they paying? What am I being paid for? I'm being paid for the value that I create. Now, if the value that I create, okay, is no different from the value that somebody else creates, okay, then what make then nothing makes me special, right? Nothing makes me special, and then that gives room for other people to start thinking about, okay, if the value is equal, then who do I prefer to work with? And that's where biases come in. Okay, under normal circumstances. Okay, but if my value, if the value that I create is always above, okay, that makes nobody else able to create that same value, okay, then I am operating from a position of power. Okay, so it is a two-way relationship. Okay, am I going into that job to be paid, or am I going into that job because of the value, because the company, because the people I'm working with, because my client, because whoever it is that I'm working with requires my value that only I can create. And if this value that only I can create, then that's not right. They have no choice. They have no choice but to work with me. But I need to create that. I need to achieve that level of mastery that makes the value that I create so special that I am irreplaceable. Okay, so that's under normal circumstances. Okay, and people value me. Okay, people value me for what I can create, regardless of whether I'm male or female. Okay, Chinese, Vietnamese, Indian, European, whatever it is. Okay, regardless of which part of the world, the color of my skin, the language that I speak, my religious affiliations, because then it becomes about being irreplaceable. Okay, operating from a position of power. Okay, but the world the world is unpredictable, right? The world is unpredictable, and it is not always ideal situation. Some people, regardless, okay, regardless of whatever value that's being created, okay, are so strongly biased. Okay, so strongly biased that they will allow their personal preferences to overcome the value that is being created. Okay, and in situations like this, I'll say leave. Okay, I'll say leave. Most people don't. Most people don't, and they operate. And when that occurs, when you're in an environment, when you're in a situation where it doesn't matter what you do, okay, the bias or the discrimination persists. Then I'll say this: if you're operating from a position of power, if you're operating from creating value, and you're certain, okay, that you are a master of whatever it is that you're doing, okay, there are lots of other opportunities available out there. Okay, and that there is no fear. There's no fear, because if it doesn't work, sorry, too bad. Okay, I don't care about what you pay me, because other people will pay me for what I can create. Other people will pay me for my mastery. Okay, now come back to me, the person. I need to create mastery. I need to identify my mastery in only the way I can, and develop that. Okay, and be so unique, so special, okay, that nobody, okay, can match what I do. Most people don't do that. Okay, most people operate at a level of mediocrity. Okay, most people operate at a level of just getting by. Okay, most people operate from a place of being replaceable, and that's the problem. Okay, when you are replaceable, okay, when you are mediocre, okay, when you are just like everybody else, okay, then why would someone choose, okay, why would someone choose to work with you? Then other things come into play, and then from a position of fear, okay, you will not even dare to leave, because the thought would always be, what if I cannot find another job? What if I cannot find other work? Okay, then I will say you've not developed a level of mastery, okay, that puts you into a position of power. Okay, or you've not acknowledged. Okay, so that's one way, right? You've not achieved a level of mastery that puts you into a position of power. The second possibility is you are not declaring it. You are not owning, you're not recognizing, you're not acknowledging the mastery that you have. Okay, and you're allowing someone else, okay, to have power over you. Okay, and we do that. Okay, we do that because a lot of people also have this "I'm not good enough" conversation that's going on. Okay, the uncertainty. Okay, there's always someone better. There is. Okay, there is. Okay, but the thing is this. Okay, comparison. Okay, comparison. It is not fair, because if we compare, it means we are looking at someone else who is similar. Okay, and then we're using that as a comparison. Okay, why why do you want to be like someone else? Okay, why do you compare with someone else? Okay, the reason anyone compares even, okay, is that we are recognizing, okay, the same yardstick or the same standards. Okay, but that's not true. Okay, because each of us have different qualities, each of us have different experiences, each of us have different and unique gifts and talents. Okay, when we compare, we are denying all this. We are saying that I'm like somebody else. Okay, so it's not fair. So it's not fair. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to someone else. Okay, when I define my mastery, okay, there is no comparison. This is just a value that I create in the way that I'm creating this. Okay, and the first person who needs to recognize and acknowledge this is me. Because until I can acknowledge, okay, so I talk about this, okay, until we have something, we cannot give it away. Okay, until we recognize our own uniqueness and our own special value that we can create, we cannot tell someone else that value that we create. Okay, so it is a conversation of mastery. It's a conversation of creating value only in the way that you can. So we do a lot of work. We do a lot of work with people to help them recognize and acknowledge this. Okay, being able to recognize and acknowledge this uniqueness, this gifts, these talents, okay, is the start of being able to articulate our mastery. And we need to be able to do that. Okay, because if we don't do that, then we will forever be judged by other people's standards. Okay, of who we are and what value that we create. Okay, and then we remain victims. Okay, we remain victims. We play from a position of fear. Okay, so how to bust bias at work? Okay, that starts with mastery. Okay, either developing the mastery or acknowledging and declaring that mastery. Okay, be so valuable, okay, that people will need you, okay, regardless, okay, of whatever, wherever, whoever, okay, that is subject to bias. What's my biggest regret? Wow, that's a tough question. Okay, so I am adventurous. Okay, I'm adventurous. I am. So I'm really thinking through that question now. I'm adventurous. I am defiant. I'm a rebel. I do things that people say cannot be done. I refuse to live by somebody else's standard, okay, or definition of whatever life should be, okay, and you tell me something cannot be done, right? I will do whatever. I will do something to show that it can be done, okay. Until I hit the wall. Sometimes I hit the wall so much. So what do I regret? If I look back at my life, is there something that I would do differently? Actually, no. Okay, actually, no. Because I've made I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. Okay, I've made a lot of mistakes. I didn't like making mistakes. I didn't like making those mistakes. But looking back now, they were important. Okay, they were very, very important because and that's where I say, and that's where I say now, or that's where it comes from when I say, when the universe gives us challenges, struggles, and obstacles, say thank you. Say thank you. Okay, thank you. Because they are gifts. if you ask me what I regret doing now, nothing comes to mind. Okay, nothing comes to mind because as much as there have been very, very painful periods in my life, okay, as much as some of you I've told the story, okay, when I started my business at age 26, do I regret that? No, I don't. Okay, even though we went through financial crisis immediately after that. I was in a .com. I was in a .com company. Okay, I was one of the pioneers of a .com company that grew very fast in Singapore. That in the year 2000, we were offered to be acquired for a lot of money, and then we said no. Do I regret that? No, I don't. And after that, okay, I was broke. Okay, I borrowed money to keep my business going. Do I regret that? No, I don't. And some of you know when I was broke, my dad fell ill and needed heart bypass surgery, needed a lot of medical bills that needed to be paid. And eventually he passed away. I was not able to do what I needed to do as a son. Do I regret that? Actually, no. Okay, it sounds evil, right? Sounds evil, right? Sounds terrible. No, it is what it is. Okay, it is what it is. Do I regret it? I did what I could back then. Okay, I did what I could back then. Can I have done something differently? I couldn't. Okay, so I can't regret, okay, doing what I did because I couldn't have done it differently. Okay, and I look at all the major events in my life. Okay, so I did Money and You in when I was 38 years old. Were there opportunities to do that earlier? I'm sure there were. I'm sure there were if I had explored different paths. Okay, but I didn't. I didn't. Okay, I went to Money and You when I was 38. Do I regret not exploring all these other opportunities earlier? No, I don't. Okay, so I'm thinking right now. I'm looking back at all the major events in my life, and asking if there were any regrets. No, I don't. I don't have any regrets because it was the best. It was the best that I could do with what I knew at that point in time, and I did whatever I could do. Okay, so I believe there is timing. Okay, I believe there is a time for everything. Could I have done Money and You earlier? Probably. Would I have been ready for it? Maybe not. Okay, so there's a saying when the student is ready, the master appears. Okay, the master will appear. The teacher will appear. Whatever it is, the guru will appear. And the truth is, looking back at my life, or being aware of, or knowing what I know right now, the teachers are always there. The teachers have always been there. The gurus have always been there. Okay, the masters have always been there. Okay, I just didn't see because I was not ready to see. Okay, so it is all timing. And what I do know now is when the master does appear, or when the message comes, when the universe speaks, learn to listen. Okay, learn to listen. Because it is what I know now, and looking back at my life, what I know now is that everything has happened in a way that has shaped my life to be where I am today. Every single event that has occurred has led me to here today talking to all of you. So how can I regret anything that has happened in my life if it has all led to this? Okay, so Have there been painful periods? There have been, okay, but to me they were necessary, and they have been periods of my life when there has been tremendous growth. Except that at that point in time, I didn't know it. Okay, but the thing I want to say also right now is even knowing what I know right now about challenges, struggles, and obstacles, it doesn't make it easier. Okay, it doesn't make it easier to face challenges, obstacles, and struggles. Okay, I still need to find ways to break through. Okay, the reason why something is a challenge, an obstacle, or a struggle is because I don't know. It's an unknown. It's an unknown. It's out of my reality box. It's outside of my comfort zone. It's outside of um, whatever experience I have. That's why it's a struggle. Okay, so it is no less painful. It is no less painful. So don't misunderstand when I say thank you to the universe. It doesn't mean that it has become easier. Okay, it remains as challenging, as painful, as distressing as whatever it is you can think about, and that's the beauty. Okay, that's the beauty about struggles. Okay, because these struggles, okay, continue to expand, continue to create opportunities for growth. Okay, so do I regret any of that? I don't. I don't at all. Okay, things that I could have done, I didn't. It doesn't matter, because if I could have done, I didn't. That I just didn't. I cannot go back to change the past. So the funny thing about regret is we can't no, we can't change anything. We cannot change. We cannot go back. So what's the point of having a regret? Okay, we can't change anything anyway. Okay, so to me it's looking forward. Okay, and saying whatever it is that's up, that the universe has, is going to be part of this life. Okay, and what I do know now is this. Okay, there is a purpose. Okay, there is a purpose which I see. Okay, there's a purpose that I see. I am here. Okay, and that purpose, okay, relates to the first question earlier, which is to be the best, which is just simply to be the best version of myself. That's all. That's my only job. That's my only job in this life. Okay, to be the best version of me. Okay, but in order to do that, I need to recognize my talents and play from my strengths. Okay, and that's all I need to do. Okay, that's all I need to do. I need to look for the easiest things to do that I can do and become better. Okay, will there be difficulties? For sure. For sure. Okay, but that's what it's going to be. Okay, this lifetime, okay, of creating value, okay, from where I am, for someone else, for the world. That's all. So do I have any regrets? Not. Yeah, think about regrets, my mind just went boom, blank. So no. Okay, life is amazing. Okay, live fully and fall in love with life itself. So what's the question? The difference between a person who dares to put down his mask and a weak person. So if we are willing, okay, so this is what I call showing up. And in order to show up, in order to show up, one of the things that, okay, talk about, okay, for a very large part of my life, okay, when I was younger, stupid and naive, but that was who I am. Okay, do I regret being young, stupid, and naive? No, I was just young, stupid, and naive. That younger me, did I worry about? Yes, I did. Okay, was I concerned about what other people thought of me? Yes, for sure. Okay, how did that get created? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, but was there a time in my life when I was worried about what other people thought of me? Yes, there was. Um, do I worry about what other people think of me now? Sometimes, sometimes I wonder what other people think of me. Okay, but does it bother me? Does it bother me so much? Okay, not so much. Okay, not so much anymore because I don't. I really don't. I really don't care so much anymore. The only person I need to measure up to, okay, is myself. Okay, the only person I need to answer to is myself. Okay, um so I am my own critique. Okay, I am my own judge. So the thing is, we all have judgment. Okay, we all have judgment about ourselves. Okay, um and that judgment, okay, that judgment comes from a lot of places. Okay, that judgment comes from what we consider to be good or not good. That judgment comes from what is ideal, not ideal, and everything else in between. Okay, so we have judgment, and then we when we think other people judge us, okay, it is actually actually we us judging ourselves. Okay, it's actually us judging ourselves. Because how do you know? how do you know? How do you know what other people are thinking? Okay, how do you know what the judgment is? And the thing also is this: when we hear judgment, okay, when we judge other people, we judge other people, right? When we judge other people, and that's not all the time. When we judge other people, okay, it is usually not about the other person. It is about whatever. I will judge someone based on what I don't like about myself or what I like about myself. Whatever I create those standards. Okay, so it's got nothing to do with the other person at all. Okay, it's got nothing to do with the other person. And similarly, whatever the other people are judging us, okay, has got nothing to do with us because it is just what the other person is seeing, okay, or has an expectation of. So we play this game, we play this game judging people judging and thinking that people are judging us, but we know what we think people are judging, what we think people are judging us on, okay, until they tell us we have no idea, okay, and then we have all these ideas that people are judging us, okay, and then we try to create this image, okay, this image of whoever we think we need to be for other people, but actually it's for ourselves. It actually it's just for ourselves. Okay, but as a result of that, okay, we build up this, we put on these clothes, we put on these clothes because we think we look good. I think I look good in this clothes. And then I present myself with the clothes that I wear. Okay, because I want people to see me a certain way. Okay, does that make me weak? No, it doesn't. Okay, it is just whatever it is that I want to present myself as to other people. Okay, so putting on a mask, does it make me weak? It doesn't. Okay, it is an experience of life. It's an experience of life. Okay, having whatever it is that comes up. Okay, and wanting to be whoever it is that we want to be. Then that's the other part, which is showing up. Okay, so as much as we put on clothes, okay, the more important thing is this: being willing to show up, which means being there. Okay, sometimes we are physically involved in something, but our heart and soul and spirit is not involved. Okay, because it's safe. Okay, because it's safe. Okay, and then I have this wall. So it's not a mask. Okay, it's not a mask. It's a wall. Okay, to protect myself. Okay, so wearing these clothes. Okay, weak or not, it's not related. Weak or not. Okay, weak or strong, you still have to wear clothes. Okay, whoever, however you want to present yourself. But when we get involved, okay, when we engage in the environment with other people and all that, we may be physically there, okay, but we are afraid, okay, to open up, okay, to reveal ourselves, okay, because we have a fear. I may have a fear of being hurt. I may have a fear of being abused or harmed or whatever it is. Okay, so I have a wall. Okay, a wall is different from a mask. Okay, a mask is just whoever I want to be, right? Okay, sometimes I need to present myself in whatever way I want to present myself. Okay, and then the only question is, how close is this mask? We all wear masks. Okay, we all wear masks. Okay, it's just how close this mask is to who we are, who we actually are, that we reveal, okay, to the world. And it is okay. It is okay not to reveal everything to the world. Okay, but the wall is a different thing. Okay, the wall is designed to protect. Okay, and when there's a wall, okay, it disconnects. So we can be there, okay, we can be involved, we can be engaged, but we are not showing up because there's a wall. Okay, and then if that is, if I have a wall, because it is likely I am operating from a position of fear. Okay, does that make me weak? No, it just makes me fearful. I'm just fearful. Okay. So I don't see it as a conversation of weak or strong. Okay, weak to me is not willing to stand up for what I believe. That is weak. Okay, not willing to speak up, okay, when something is not working that I don't agree on. Okay, that is weak. Okay, seeing injustice and harm and hurt going on and not doing anything about it, okay, that is weak. Okay, but having a wall, okay, it's not weak, it's just protected. It's just protective. It's just protective. That's a consequence. Okay, I don't connect. Okay, so it is not. So there are different conversations. Okay, the protection, the who I want to be, and being a strong person or a weak person. Okay, then the question really becomes, what are you about? What am I about? Okay, so looking at my life now, okay, so do I have regrets about that? No, I was whoever I was, however I operated in my life was whoever I was and however I operated that needed to happen in order for me to get to where I am. So I made mistakes. As I said earlier, I've made lots of mistakes before. There've been times when I could have spoken up and I didn't. Okay, there are times when I spoke up when I shouldn't. There are times when I put on clothes, okay, for other people to see. Okay, it doesn't make me weak. It just gave me an experience of life. Okay, today I am not so concerned. Okay, today I'm not so concerned about the clothes that I wear. Okay, I wear the clothes. Okay, you notice I'm always wearing the same thing every live stream. Okay, because I don't have to think. I don't have to think anymore about what I want to wear. Okay, I wear what's comfortable. I wear what I want. Okay, without worrying too much. Okay, about what other people think. I don't operate so much from fear anymore. Okay, I show up. I think I show up a lot more. Okay, because being vulnerable, being hurt, is part of the process. Okay, it's part of the learning. It's part of the experience of life. Okay, and there are things that I believe all of us are meant to do in our lifetimes, and we need to do those things. Okay, we need to do those things in our lifetimes, because if you don't do it, you will come back in the next lifetime and you have to do it. You have to come back again in the next lifetime, and then you have to do it. You know, like Groundhog Day, you know, the show. Life will continue to give you an experience, okay, until you get the lesson. Okay, so if you find yourself in a loop, okay, things are repeating, okay, you haven't learned your lesson yet. So it's always a choice, okay? It's always a choice. It's always opportunity to learn, opportunity to grow. Okay, and being willing to show up. Okay, being willing to take a chance, being willing to decide what clothes you want to wear, okay, because it is okay to wear those clothes, or to wear that mask, whatever it is, okay, and so not the same thing, mask and weak person. How do we keep calm in all situations? Sometimes it's okay not to keep calm. Sometimes it's okay not to keep calm. Okay, but so I'll really look at it as being at choice. Okay, being at choice in the emotion that you want to display. Okay, very powerful. Okay, being at choice, okay, to respond with an emotion rather than to react with an emotion. What's the difference? If someone does something to upset me, okay, a few things can happen, right? So if someone does something to upset me, okay, I might react with anger, I might react with being upset, and then I might punch that person, okay, and then there are consequences. But sometimes, so this thing that people do, okay, this thing that someone does that upsets me, could be something harmful, right? Could be something harmful to, it may not even be directed at me. It could be something harmful or hurtful that has an impact, negative impact on other people, on the environment, whatever it is. And sometimes, okay, there is a need, okay, there's a need to demonstrate, okay, that I am upset, okay, rather than say, hey, I'm okay. Okay, so the thing is being able to choose your emotion for me anyway, okay, being able to choose my emotion rather than staying calm. So how do I do that? Okay, so the thing is to notice. Okay, one of the most important tools, okay, that I have learned is learning to notice my thoughts, emotions, and feelings. Okay, we are all thinking something all of the time. We are all experiencing some emotion all of the time. We are all sensing and feeling things all of the time. Okay, so I may be thinking, so something happens, right? Something happens, then there is a thought that occurs. Something happens, then that's an emotion that may come up. Something happens, then I might experience a feeling. Okay, my hands start to I start to tremble. Okay, I start to have butterflies in my stomach. Okay, so there are these things happen all the time. If I am not noticing, okay, if I am not noticing it, okay, so it happens all the time regardless of whether I'm noticing or not. Okay, but when I learn to notice, learn to notice, okay, so something happens that creates an upset. Then if I am not noticing, okay, I might react with being upset or anger, and then I might do something. Okay, and then there are consequences, right? The person might bash you back. And then people will say that, hey, you shouldn't get angry. You shouldn't get angry. You should stay calm. Take a deep breath. Stay calm. Okay, it doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't work. Okay, an emotion is an emotion. Okay, it comes up. It comes up. Okay, but the thing is, when I start noticing, when something happens, and then I do this thing where I notice my thought or emotion or feeling, then I say, hey, this event that just happened, okay, I am experiencing an upset. Okay, I have this emotion called anger that's coming up. Okay, I have a thought, okay, about hitting that person. Okay, I might have a feeling, okay, when I clench my fist, and then I notice my adrenaline going up and I'm ready to fight. So I notice all this. Then I choose what I want to do. Okay, so there may be situations where I choose to demonstrate an emotion. So I might then be able to choose, okay, even though I notice that, hey, I'm feeling upset, I will choose to demonstrate a different emotion. Okay, I will choose to do something else, respond with something else rather than react, which is the automatic. Okay, so there may be situations when I need to demonstrate anger, but I'm choosing to demonstrate anger rather than being on an automatic and just reacting with anger. Okay, and the thing about being able to choose is this: as much as I can choose anger, I can also choose something else. I can choose compassion, I can choose love, I can choose whatever it is. Okay, so somebody creates an upset, okay, and then I choose, okay, I choose to demonstrate compassion instead of anger. Okay, that puts me into a position of power. That puts me into a position of being able to create the outcome that I want rather than going onto an automatic and then having a random set of outcomes which can escalate and become a disaster. So it's not about keeping calm. Okay, if I want to keep calm, then it's a choice. Okay, I am calm because I am choosing to stay calm, because I'm noticing an emotion that's coming up, and then I choose to stay calm. Okay, I'm noticing an emotion that's coming up, okay, sadness, and I choose to stay calm because if I don't stay calm, then it might it might make everybody panic. Or worried or stressful or stressed or whatever it is. Okay, so I choose my emotions, okay, in a way to me that create a situation that works for me and for everyone involved. Okay, so I demonstrate emotion based on choice. Okay, and it's not about staying calm all the time. Sometimes if I feel sad, right, then I cry. Just cry. It's just water down your face, eyes sweating. If I feel that I need to demonstrate anger, then I just demonstrate anger. If I need to demonstrate whatever emotion it is, okay, there's no good or bad, right or wrong emotion. Okay, it is just what the outcome it is that I want to create, and then I do what I need to do in order to create that outcome. Okay, and sometimes some people I need to demonstrate anger to some people, otherwise they don't get it. So I'm angry, and then demonstrate the essence of anger. Okay, sometimes we need to do that. Okay, sometimes we need to stay calm. So it is operating from choice, choosing the emotion to demonstrate. Does modern science have deep parallel with theology? This is a deep question. I think it's going to take 1 hour to respond to this question. But okay, I'll give a short answer. Science and theology used to be the same thing. Okay, science and theology used to be the same thing. Okay, but the thing is this. Okay, science. So eventually, it branched. It fought. Okay, and they decided to. So theology and science, they divorced and went on their different paths. Okay, so science looks for evidence. Okay, you realize that science looks for evidence. Theology is based on faith. It used to be the same thing. Okay, and then if we go, we can spend a lot of time talking about the history, okay, of how it's split and for different reasons. And then it became two paths. Okay, so are there parallels? There are. Okay, it's just the philosophy, okay, of science and the philosophy of theology, okay, are two different frameworks. Okay, but the reality in which we live is the same reality. Okay, it's just whether you explain with science or you explain with faith. You explain with evidence or explain with faith. You explain with science or explain with theology. Okay, and sometimes we've reached a point in the history of humanity, okay, where sometimes and where often theology and science don't always agree. Okay, and then we are at a point in humanity right now where we are looking we are looking, okay, for some convergence of science and theology. And so we go into this thing called metaphysics. We go into this thing called quantum mechanics. We go into this thing called energy. And okay, I don't have all the terms. The reality that we live in is the same reality, whether we explain with science or with theology. Okay, and to me is actually taking a step back. Okay, taking a step back because it is all. If we look at science and theology today, okay, it is all man-made. It's all man-made. Then how, right? If it's not man-made, okay, everything is man-made. No, it's looking beyond. Okay, it's taking a step back from science and theology and looking at the principles of things. Okay, looking at removing the dogma. Okay, the prescribed practices, the methodologies, the frameworks, and all that. Okay, taking all that and taking a step back and looking at life. Okay, taking a look at life, taking a look at how the world works. Okay, and understanding from that perspective. Okay, sometimes science has answers, sometimes theology has answers, but it's really removing all the frameworks, okay, to look for that consistent principle, okay, that governs the universe, that governs the reality that we live in. And this is okay, so we live in this reality right now. Okay, and this reality, we call it reality because it's what we can see, experience, and we know. Are there other things? Are there other things outside of this of our realities? For sure. Okay, for sure there are. I believe there are. Okay, in the same way, okay, I have a reality box, you have a reality box, and both our reality boxes may not be the same. So are there things outside of my reality box that exist in your reality box? Yet that there is. Okay, then what do I need to do? Okay, I need to interact with you. I need to interact with you, or you need to interact with me. And if we have different reality boxes, then both our reality boxes will expand. Okay, so the one thing is to continue to expand. Okay, expand my reality box. Okay, and if there is this concept of our different reality boxes, then collectively as humanity, we combine all our reality boxes. There are also things that are real to us. Then are there things outside? There are. okay, we just haven't discovered it yet. We just haven't discovered it yet. Okay, so it's always asking questions, okay, at the principles, for me anyway, I look at the principle of things. Sometimes science gives me an answer, sometimes theology gives me an answer, but it's the same reality. Okay, we operate in the same reality. We just have different ways of looking at things. Sometimes I look at both and see, okay, what is this all about? Sometimes I look at the bigger picture. Okay. Okay, so we come to the end of the 60 minutes this Thursday. Thank you for the questions. I hope that it has made sense. Okay, I hope that it has made sense. In the end, we are all just physical beings in this life, sharing with. Okay, we are all physical beings getting an experience in this reality. When we die, at the end of whatever it is, okay, so we have a period of time we will live, and then and all we do, and I said this before, all we can ever do is acquire experience, because experience is the only thing we get to keep. Okay, experience is the only thing we get to keep all the way, that nobody can ever take away from us. Okay, everything else is transient. Everything else is, we don't keep anything. Okay, so we are in this life to get an experience, whatever that experience is, and each of us will have a unique experience, because we are wired differently. We experience, and even if we go through the same event, we have a different experience. So number one, we are all in this physical reality to get an experience in our lifetimes. Expansion occurs when we share our experiences, because there's so many things that can happen. There's so many experiences that we can get. It is not possible. Okay, it is not possible in one lifetime, okay, to experience everything. Okay, I am in my life experiencing. Okay, I am born into the Chinese culture, and I'm experiencing life in Singapore. I've experienced life in Malaysia and Singapore for a large part up until now. Okay, and all the things that's happened, okay, within these environments that I'm in. Okay, there is no way I can experience what you guys experience wherever you are in the world. Okay, if you're in Vietnam, you have your experience born into Vietnamese families. If you are black, white, yellow, purple, whatever color you are, born in different environments, there's no way. Okay, there's no way I can ever have your experience. There's no way you can have my experience. Okay, our lives become richer when we share with each other our experiences. Okay, that we can't get in one lifetime. Okay, so thank you for this 60 minutes, because you have shared with me your experience. Okay, you have given me a glimpse of your reality box. You've given me a glimpse of your thoughts, feelings, okay, what you see of the world, and that has made my life richer. Okay, and I hope in the same way, in responding to whatever you guys are asking, that I have also created value, okay, and done something for all of you in expanding your experience, okay, or expanding your idea of what other experiences are. Okay, so thank you all for your 60 minutes again. Always thank you for your 60 minutes. And if this has been of value to you, please help me like, share, and subscribe. And I will see all of you next week. In the meantime, take care. Kampong Kid out.